Hello. I feel like making a video. We are at Burleigh. It is the last day of my fat loss phase or my diet phase, and just going for a walk this morning, and I felt like making a video. So not questioning it, here we are making the video. I wanted to make this video just sharing my thoughts because it's my last day in this fat loss phase or this diet phase. This started for real around December. It's now May, I think. Are we in May or April? I think it's May. Yeah, so about 5 months, maybe close to 6, but I even started dieting to lose a little bit of weight back in October. So this has been a really long phase, and I've had a lot of learnings. And if I don't share them today, I just don't think I will. I've got, weigh in for a competition. Fuck, that's beautiful. I got weigh in for a competition tomorrow. I think, is it tomorrow? I don't know, competing the next day. So yeah, I just think I've gone through a lot. I've learned a little bit this prep or this phase, and I wanted to chat about it. And I imagine this video would be something that people might listen to just as you drive. I'll try and talk slow. Got I'm not mentioning any research papers or any convincing you on a certain diet or anything like that. I just want to share what I've gone through and what I've learnt on this diet. Main thing is, what's the main thing that I've learned about myself is how seriously I take my health, and how I don't take it for granted, and how it's become more important than money or fame to me. Not that they were ever on the cards either. But yeah, just when I've gone through some mental health stuff on this prep and then fixed it with diet, or learning where that stress is coming from and learning how to mitigate it, it just made me realize I already knew how important it was, but it's just like, it's everything, and I'll do anything. I would never, if the sport that I chose was harming my mental health, that sport's gone. If my job was affecting it, that job's gone. I just mean, like, if it's where I'm living, no matter what I'm doing, the mental health side of thing is everything, and physical health as a manifestation of that. But I really learnt that because I did go through some tough times. This prep, I think that's why I'm feeling quite chatty right now, is I've made it to the last day, and I feel the relief that I've made it to the weight that I need to be at, and I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm happy, and it feels good. So I feel a bit chatty. So that's one thing I learnt. I'm not on coffee anymore during this prep, so I think I'm in week 7 of caffeine free, no coffee, no Coke, no Pepsi. I've had chocolate, that's about it, so some caffeine in chocolate allegedly. But yeah, no tea with caffeine, just caffeine free 7 weeks. That's a big change for me. I won't be going back to caffeine or coffee as a regular drinker. I might treat it like alcohol, where there's a time and place for alcohol, there's a time and place for caffeine, but it won't be just a regular part of my day, which does suck being up here in Burleigh. Even this walk right now, like walking past the cafes and watching people participate in life. Drinking coffee, for me, is a way to participate in life. For a lot of people, that's alcohol. You get to go out and be amongst friends and drink, or have people over and have a drink, and it's a way to participate in life. And what I've really noticed without the caffeine is, yeah, I'm missing this feeling, I'll say it again, of participating in life. It's like I'm just home all the time. I'm not walking around with a drink. I'm not going and buying a drink. You just don't get, there's something habitual about spending money, sitting at a cafe. I've always loved driving with a hot coffee, so nice. So I do miss that part, but I don't miss the anxiety that it was bringing on. I won't make this video about coffee, but that's been a big change for this prep. Now, the food side of things is what I wanted to chat about, and I don't want this to be like I'm convincing others, so I'm just going to chat. The time that I spent going super high carb and keeping my calories really high has been pivotal, amazing, great choice. So I just think carbs are what we should be eating the most of, and some of us tolerate fruit and sugar better than starches, and some people the opposite. So some people, maybe fruit and simple sugars aren't treating you well right now, so you can have potatoes and rice and sourdough bread, and then other people are the opposite, and they might feel better, do better on juice, milk and honey, and just straight up fruit, and some people in between. And I'm still finding what feels best for me, but it is just a bit of both. And the time that I spent going really high carb was when I was just feeling my absolute best, strongest, weight was still stable, but you know, I was a lot heavier than now, and I was able to just maintain and feel great and really enjoy life on these high carbs. What that also allowed me to do is when I restrict my calories now, so this prep I did do calorie tracking. I don't always calorie track when I go in my fat loss phase, but I did it this time and enjoyed it. And I was able to maintain my weight on 3,100 to 3,300 calories, which meant that the end of this fat loss phase, the lowest my calories got was 2,300 calories. And I mean, we got like, I haven't been this lean in about 10 years. And when I did get this lean, or this light I should say, I was doing CrossFit and a low carb diet. So that does lend itself to leanness and being light, losing a lot of weight, but at the expense of your health. And I didn't do it for long enough or drastic enough back then that it affected me. I was also in my 20s, which changes things. But the way that I've done it this time is the way that not that I'm advising anyone, but if I was to work with someone, I'd be like, man, we got to spend 6 months building up your carbs and having quite a lot of carbs, moderate protein, moderate fat, maintain, feel good, adjust things. And then when you're ready to go into a fat loss phase, we keep the macros the same. We keep the carbs pretty high, above 50%. Mine was closer to 65 for a lot of this. 65% of my diet was carbs. And you just adjust the calories. And as long as fat stays in, hunger was fine, energy was fine, even without the coffee, apart from the initial 2 weeks. So I'm just really happy. The point of this part was I'm really happy that I did that about 6 months of just a high carb, pretty high calorie diet, like a healing phase, I guess you'd call it, where I was just feeling my best and felt really great. That was worth doing so that my body got used to the amount of carbs and I could cut weight on a higher amount of calories. The mistakes that I made on this prep, I tried the sugar diet. You guys might have seen a lot of about, so I was doing something called the honey diet. I can make a separate video about it, but it's a high sugar, lowish protein, low fat diet, really low fat diet. And I pushed my fats quite low, some days 10 to 20 grams, which is extremely low. And I started getting some anxiety some days, and you know, I'm off the coffee, that helps anxiety. Couldn't figure out what was going on. It took me a couple of days to figure out that it could be the fats. I added fats back in. My weight started trending back down, even on the same amount of calories. Once I got more from fat and less from, what was I having? I think I just took away some carbs and took away some protein. Weight started moving. Anxiousness went away. Nervousness went away. So that was a mistake I made, was pushing my fats too low. Now the person putting out the most info about the sugar diet at the moment is Mark Bell, who's very open about being on testosterone or performance enhancing drugs. I don't know what he takes, but he's taking exogenous hormones, which means he can go on a low fat diet and not tank his testosterone because his test is steady due to taking it exogenously. Me at low body fat, I really believe when I was in a calorie deficit and extremely low fat, not only was my body going to its fat stores a little bit more than normal, but because I'm near the end of my body fat stores, it was actually going to its stored PUFA. It's polyunsaturated fatty acids. Now these fatty acids are normal in nature, but they're no good for us. Having too much is no good for us. And what I've learned is that they're most likely the last fatty acids to come off the body, for reasons I can go to into another video. These fatty acids, when oxidized or when burnt, when used, release a lot of free radicals, and that's where we get our anxiousness from. It's the main reason, or one of the main reasons, I avoid seed oils and I avoid, just PUFA in general. I don't eat it, apart from the tiny bit that's in eggs and bananas and crap like that. So I believe my body was using its stored PUFA, and that was leading to anxiousness. I added some fats back in. My body was still able to be in a body fat burning place, but I'm burning some of the fats that I'm eating, the saturated fats, and that's a much cleaner energy. It's much better. So what I learned was at low body fats, for me, it does not feel good eating a low fat diet. So I've put fats back up to, some days I was having 100 grams of fat. I went from 10 to 100, and things felt better. The diet was still sustainable and enjoyable, but that's just one thing that I really learned. That's about all I wanted to share. I had some toothache the other day, which my teeth need some work. There's some decay that you can't see because of the enamel. I'm going to try and heal it naturally. But I'm going to start going to the dentist a bit more to get regular checkups to see if what I'm doing is working and see if I can strengthen my teeth and learn about teeth. What I found was that once I massaged my masseter muscle and the jaw and just massaged up here, I got a little bit of relief in my jaw, which was transferring to the tooth. So I learned a little bit about the jaw tension, and it's just made me want to explore a little bit more the idea of stress, fascia, how we hold our stress. And even though I'm feeling great right now and I can breathe great, the diet that I've put myself through the last 6 months, a restrictive diet, stressing about the comp, stressing about the flights just to get here, I don't think that stuff is gone. Just because I feel good right now, it's not on my mind. I think my body, I think our bodies store it for a little bit longer, forever maybe, until we deal with it. And that might take some physical massage and touch to draw it out and release. Some talk therapy, some more relaxing times like what I'm doing right now. Like, I think the way that I eat and stuff like that really helps my stress levels, making sure that I get enough sugar in my diet. But I think there's more I can do to make sure that I'm not holding tension in my gut and therefore potentially creating disease or health issues down the road. That's what I've learnt lately. I thought I would share that while I can be bothered. Today I have to cut weight, so I'm not going to be feeling this good later, but I can deal with it. I'm feeling robust and rather content. Body's lean-ish. Hopefully we're strong for the competition on the weekend. Maybe you learned something from this. Point is, the idea popped in my head to share, and we don't disagree. We don't argue with the ideas that pop in our head. We assume they happen for a reason, and we share with the world. All right, cheers.